doing, sir?
All right, greetings, Councilman. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Good to see you. I'm
You
going to
too.
really need you to do something about this traffic, man.
You tell less people to move here. You know, y'all don't want any road widening projects.
Those are rumors. I want all improvements that are able to be made as long as we're included. As long as everybody's included, I'm willing to make change to get all projects done in Raleigh. The camera, please pass your greetings to everybody and
How's
explain
everyone
who you are.
doing? I'm Corey Branch, Raleigh City Council Mayor Pro Tem. Raleigh native as well.
Really? And what district city councilman?
I represent District C, which includes Southeast Raleigh and East Raleigh.
Now you're just getting comfortable in your second term as city councilman, correct?
Well, one thing about being elected office, you should never be comfortable.
Indeed.
So one thing I'm continuing to do is reach out and touch as many people as I can, work with those who I'm able to, work with, and to move things in a positive way.
Okay. And how do you feel the direction of what you envision for District C is going?
Steady, slow, but deliberate. Some things I wish would move a lot faster.
Can you be specific in any of those?
As far as development, I'm still looking for a grocery store in the district. I think there's a great opportunity with a rezoning case that will be coming before us related to the Old Town project.
Okay.
It's kind of right on the outskirts, but one thing about our district is landlocked. The closer you're in, there's not a lot of room for development without tear downs. And I want to prevent tear downs, keep people in their homes. So that's when I say slow too, because you see development from people, for whatever reasons, are losing their homes and their property. And some are just selling. So when you look at all of those factors, not knowing each individual case, you can't just put a silver bullet to it.
Indeed. Now, and keeping in line with the topic you brought up about the homes, that is one of the major topics that has actually been going on for some time, but is just now getting into the forefront.
We've had housing problems for almost the last 40 years.
Yes, we have.
And the interesting part is I'm 40.
Right.
So the question is, what can we do to make sure we're included in the process?
What is the answer
and
to
what
that?
we can do.
What would your
that?
answer be to that?
One is education. From a city standpoint, making sure that we put out as much information we can so people are aware of the value of their property. Those who need assistance, we have rehab assistance grants that we just modified last year. In the past, it would be a grant that only covered 50%, plus you had to stay there for 15 years, or you had to pay it back. We reduced that to 5%. And now we pay close to 90% of a need. There are still some challenges there because it still requires the homeowner to have an investment. It requires them to be able to put some money up front. So that's when we have to really look at some of our nonprofits and other agencies to see what will consist and come up and try to find some new things and new methods. So that's what I've been reaching out to, those in the community that have ideas that we can see what works,
Okay, would you happen to have any new ideas as the councilman as to how we could? Do you have any new ideas yourself?
One of the things that I would do, and what I've been trying to do, is have forums where we can educate people. There's a District C meeting every third Saturday. We have one this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. at 1214 East Lenore Street, 9 until 11. And what we do is we try to, it's going out to the community where individuals can come, because a lot of people can't attend CACs that are during the week. So here's an opportunity on a Saturday, and it's either me or someone I know are kind of facilitating. I don't want to say run the meeting, but facilitating it to keep things in moving and making sure everyone has a chance to speak. But we bring last month we had someone come in and talk about the New Bern Avenue corridor changes that are happening and opportunities there, and how that's also an economic target area. So if someone has a business and they're looking to develop along the New Bern Avenue corridor, that means depending on the number of jobs that you bring in, the city will give you more money than someone not in an economic target area to help your business. This coming week, we actually have the new hire with the chamber that is working on economic development. Mr. Danya Perry is coming in this Saturday to talk about economic development from the standpoint of resources and collaboration and what his role is with the county. So we're looking at partnerships between the city. The city has an economic development department. Soon we look to hire a new director. We haven't had a director for about a year, less than a year, just due to some personnel challenges there. So the key that I'm really trying to do, that's why I've said I'll come here, is get information out. Because one thing that's worse, there's only one thing worse than no information, is misinformation.
Indeed.
So I'm trying to do what I can to make sure people have the right information.
Indeed. So you've been holding your city council district C meetings for
since January.
About a month, 2 months, 3 months now?
We're in month 4.
Okay, month 4 now. How effective are you feeling?
Good. They keep growing.
Yeah.
Attendance continues to grow. Different people. You have some that return. I think the real key will be in August when we're 8 months in. But my goal was.
Why do you say that? Why August versus September or July?
Summer months. What's the activity and the involvement in the summer months? But also, one of the keys I've been trying to push is giving information. The overall goal that I see as this group is the group looking at issues and coming up with solutions, and then me able to take those solutions and see how we can put policy to it from the city. And some of them may come from the county. There may be ideas that come up that we gather and we say, hey, school board members, hey, county commissioners, because it's in their purview and it's in their charter to deliver that and work on that.
Why do you feel that, do you feel that there is more that the city, because sometimes with our politicians as it pertains to the disconnect between the community and dealing with the city or dealing with the county, it always appears, or there's always an image given out that the community needs to do more. I
think everybody needs to do more. City government has a role to play, but city government cannot do it all.
Right. So what roles do you feel that the city government could do more?
The city government can do more in making sure people are aware of tools that we have to assist someone from rehab, first-time home buyers. We partner with the county for someone, say they're having some problems with their taxes. The county is a collector of tax money. They have a program to assist people in payment of their taxes. So we actually have that information on our site, so people can go out and gather information and work with the county. Okay.
Now, we know also that we deal with in the city of Raleigh, especially as it pertains to us, especially as it pertains to your district, you have a lot of elderly in your district, a lot of elderly individuals. What efforts does the city have for those who, just maybe can't even get online or don't have smartphones, yet still pay taxes? Still are the majority of the owners of the properties. Should there be, or is there a outreach effort to these individuals to make them aware of this information, especially considering that the older generation may not even drive, so they can't make it to the district meeting?
So that is an area that we are working to improve. In the past years, there was an opportunity for a lot of information to be disseminated in our water bill. The city has grown so much, and postage costs so much. Some changes were made prior to me being elected to city council. So now that I'm here looking at opportunities for us to go into the community, do more meetings in community centers, and advertising that, do targeted mailing. One thing that we've done is for a zoning case. In the past, if someone wanted to rezone their property, they had to target those 100 feet from their property. We changed that to 500. So in doing that, it's trying to make sure that more people are aware of what's going on in their immediate community. There are a lot of individuals and organizations that I try to make sure have information. I try to attend as many meetings as possible. I still haven't figured out how to clone myself. But those are some of the tools and the things. We're still searching. I'm open to ideas on how to target seniors. If there's groups that specifically work with seniors, contact me. 919-996-3050. Give me a call, give the staff a call, they take down your information, and we'll work with you on passing along information.
Now, I was speaking with one of our representatives for the state, actually earlier today, and we were talking about the disconnect between the youth and the elderly as it pertains to getting the youth to take leadership in politics. Now, you were fairly young. Well, not fairly young,
I was
but
37 at the time.
You was a younger guy, and would be considered younger as it pertains to politics and getting into the city council position. And you were actually even younger than that the first time you tried. Your first attempt. Did you find those barriers to be true, that they didn't really accept the younger, and you were going against the older gentleman that was in your position?
One thing that I made sure of when I ran is that it was never about the individual. I made sure that I talked about what I wanted to do, what my ideas were, and my opponent ran their campaign, and I ran mine, and I had a pretty cordial relationship, and still do to this day.
Indeed.
I think one of the challenges that we have is just resources. When I look back at, to get a message out to the public, it's not all about social media. Social media helps you reach a lot of people, but you even stated a lot of people are not tied in, they're not glued to it, and then a lot of people don't attend church.
Indeed.
So how do you reach people? The way you do that is mailings, yard signs, and going to meetings as many as possible. To do that, it costs. So a lot of it has to do with getting the right resources in. I'll be honest with you, the majority of my resources were based on relationships. Personal relationships with individuals within the district and with outside of the district, and some outside of the state.
So you really didn't face the youth barrier?
Well,
issues?
For me, I'm a different type of candidate, and I say that because I'm a Raleigh native. So no one can say I'm not from the community. No one can say I didn't understand the issues that we're still facing today, because I live it. I grew up in Southeast Raleigh, ride my bike to Bitmore Hills, down to Santa Fe Road Park, going to Southgate Shopping Center, getting my hair cut. Grew up in First Cosmopolitan Baptist Church. I went to Fuller, Ligon, and Enloe. So
yeah, that's how things work.
how can you not? So for me, I'm a different candidate. For someone that say they moved here and they're young and they want to get involved, you have to understand your landscape.
Let's say they're from here. Let's say that, just in general, even if it's not in politics, sometimes the older guard, as they're labeled, really don't like to relinquish leadership in many areas that could forward move. I mean, when you think of Dr. King, Rosa Parks, even somebody recently mentioned to me that Thomas Jefferson was 33 when he did the Declaration of Independence.
Dr. King was 39 when he was assassinated.
So yeah, and he was 20 in his 20s when he was out here getting his head bust.
So what it comes down to is power is never given. People in leadership, no one gives it freely.
Indeed.
One thing I always say is you gotta have faith and be strong, no matter what you believe in, no matter your source.
Indeed.
And realize that not everybody who looks at you and smiles at you and say they're for you are.
Indeed.
So those are some of the things. So to say old guard per se, you have to quantify it. Because there could be people in a certain age group that do support you, and they're pushing you forward. And then there's others that they really don't want you to be successful. You know, they may say it, but I always say watch, pray, and listen. And the person will show you everything you need to know about them, and if they're really for you. And the true test of someone is when times are difficult.
Indeed.
When times are hard, when you don't do something because they told you to do it. You know, luckily both of my parents raised me to be a strong thinker, and be able to stand on my own 2 feet. And not everyone has that.
Indeed. While we have been in this car,
Right.
we just passed 2 police officers.
Right.
That appeared to have gentlemen without vehicles, you know, pulled over for some reason or another. That was one that we just saw.
Yeah, that one was interesting though, because the man was just sitting on it. He was just sitting there, and he just got. It looks like the officer was pulling off.
It does.
Yeah. So I don't know if the officer was having. I don't know what happened.
But we clearly can see with these individuals that, you know, and that's another thing is mental health issues. Do you feel that the police should be handling, are they equipped properly to handle these individuals with mental health issues? I mean, you and I can't diagnose or do anything without the proper degrees, credentials, paperwork, and experience to handle these individuals. And
for the training,
police will take you to jail.
Yeah.
So do you think that is
for the training that they go through? Is it enough to really deal with mental health issues? No. But that's any police force. That's the same thing when we talk about our teachers. You know, that's why there's a big push for more counselors and teachers in the classrooms, in the schools. We have to, you know, when we talk about mental health, this is where the city and the county have to partner, with the county being responsible for human services. I mean, you've constantly have heard the sheriff and the police chief say, we need help, because they'll tell you, you know, and I've actually have toured some of our hospitals. Our hospitals are having to deal with mental health issues, and, you know, they're not psych wards. But they're addressing it the best way they can, because the state has cut back a lot on, you know, Dorothea Dix. The reason why it's becoming a park is because the state closed it. Let's just be honest. The state closed down a mental institute to help and assist people. We're spending a lot of money on symptoms across the country, and not enough on the issue.
In your first term as city councilman, you had a specific platform and things that you addressed in that nature, you know, coming in for the first time.
Right.
What in your second term do you want to improve on that you didn't do in your first one? And what in your second term do you have that is completely new for your district?
So one thing that I'm spending more time on this time is economic development. And when I say economic development, it is not just entrepreneurship, but also job training and skills. Because if you talk to any entrepreneur, the ultimate goal is to hire people. Indeed. So that means everyone can't be an entrepreneur. So looking at job skills, still focusing on housing. We have 2 issues with housing. One is an economic one, and one is inventory. And what I mean by that is there's not enough inventory out there for everyone that's looking for a place to stay. On top of that, we have to look at how much it costs to build a home. Now, if you build a house that's market rate, or you build one that you consider for you classify as affordable housing, whatever bracket under affordable housing, which is under federal government calls affordable housing 80% of the AMI and below. There are different programs to hit that. There's some that target 40 to 60%. There's some that target 30% and below. So whatever price range you're talking about, to build is to build. So what tools can we put in place to make sure these are affordable for all people who seek to want to be in a house? Some may want to have an apartment. Not everyone may want to be a homeowner. So we have to make sure that we have that variety throughout the city. So just making sure that we do not economically segregate our city, where we put everyone in one income bracket in one community, no matter if it's the high end or the low end. So transportation is moving forward. That was one of my major pushes my first term. Focus on transportation. I feel good in the direction that it's going, but I'm still keeping a pulse to it. But it comes down to jobs and housing.
Now, you also know that within a community, and specifically, especially in your district, not everybody's feeling included. They feel that the city is changing and nobody has a problem with change, but it's the removing of the options. I personally know many individuals who've been forced to move to Fuquay, move to Knightdale, move to Clayton, and that's a whole different county. Yet, these are individuals who have jobs, who have careers. These are individuals who are now being forced to commute, which is even more money out of their pocket. And what is the city doing to combat that aspect of improvement?
So we do have some programs to try to help those a lot of programs around first-time home buyers, and a lot of that has to do with how the lending agencies work as far as interest rates. But even if you're not a first-time home buyer, say you're in your home, so there's different. Those that are looking to purchase, those are currently in their home. My first question is, are they paying a mortgage or are they renting? So if they're paying the mortgage, the city has a lot of programs to help those who are paying a mortgage, renting.
Are there more people? Are there more people in your district renting or mortgage buyers?
Actually, if you do percentage-wise, there are more homeowners than renters, but the renters is high. It's around 40%. So, but you still have more homeowners. So
what are they doing for the renters?
So the renters, one thing that we've done recently is
and I asked that. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I asked that because generally, on average, if you're building homes in District C that are $500,000, $400,000, even $375,000, a lot of the natives, somebody moving from New Jersey, somebody moving from Delaware who's used to that high, they may be able to afford it.
But someone local.
But a lot of the natives of Raleigh who haven't been getting paid much from living here.
And so for one thing I want to say about pay.
Or even as young, or even being young individuals at 27 years old.
So one thing I want to say about pay, from a city standpoint, we've done what we can to try to help make sure city employees have more of an opportunity to live in the city. We still have a ways to go, but we've recently made some changes as far as compensation there. As far as, you hit a lot of different brackets there.
Because on average with city pay, they can't afford a lot of these homes that are being built in the city.
Now we do have a program over East College Park. So in East College Park, we're looking at a 60-40 split as far as affordable housing and market rate housing. I know quite a few. I've actually met 3 young ladies, African American young ladies, who are moving into homes over there.
Over in College Park.
So that's through a city program, and city opportunity. So we're doing our part. We need more from developers, as far as pricing. And people maybe not looking for such a big profit share. Renters, you talked about renters.
Yes, sir.
That is a major issue right now.
Yes, sir.
We do have we just, as recent as Tuesday, we talked about affordable housing and funding and financing affordable housing. 2 issues. One, some are for elderly. 2 of them are delayed until next month. I do believe they will pass. I feel good about it. But one thing I say, won't know until May 1st. But one of those is dealing with the project with the YMCA. And the Y trying to build, those are going to be apartments. A lot on Rock Quarry Road. So also we have developers who are building townhomes and things out they're kind of outside of Beltline. They're still in Southeast Raleigh, but I call it, some people may call it the new Southeast Raleigh because these are new townhomes. I also know there's a rezoning case for apartments beside Walnut Creek Elementary School.
Right.
Those are market rate. But at the same time, where they're located and everything, I think they'll be in a good price range. I know there was recently some new apartments that were built off of New Hope Church Road. I'm sorry, New Hope Road, off of New Hope Road, in between Pool Road and Rock Pryor Road.
Okay.
So there's some new development that's coming in, but so many people are moving, and I tell someone every day, it's easy to tear down, and those are the things we're trying to stop and prevent as much as possible. But if you own a property
Right.
and you sell it to me, this is Kelvin to Corey.
Right.
At what point does the city get involved in that transaction?
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is get more people in the community to be aware of what's going on in their community. We have to get back to knowing our neighbors.
Indeed.
And knowing your neighbors, you also know if someone's having problems, you know, and staying in their home. The communities used to look out for each other.
Indeed.
You know,
Indeed.
Those are some of the ways that we can help each other.
Are these things that go on in the meetings that you hold monthly? Are these aspects that you try to encourage in the community?
Yes, and these are aspects where I ultimately want to go in the conversations. But one of the things I've noticed too is I wanted to make sure people knew information on what's out there, and then they have that information. They have information for other sources they have.
Right.
Now let's look at what solutions we have, and if there are any, challenges that we feel or we face, what can we do to work through it?
Right.
And also one of the things that we have to be, I'm just going to be plain about it.
Yeah.
You have individuals that say they want affordable housing until it's across the street. Or until until they have traffic concerns. Say you have 400 people that you need to find homes for, shelter for, and they all come with whatever financial situation they're in. You have some people that have moved here because I remember back in the day, everyone from Eastern North Carolina, Raleigh's the big city.
I remember that.
So everyone moved to Raleigh. And that still occurs.
And I never knew why folks thought that because I moved a lot of the country, so I don't never understood that.
So that still occurs today.
Right.
So you have a lot of people competing for the same jobs, and then some people move here, and when they're not able to find a job, that's when we're starting to deal with housing constraints. You start talking about homelessness, and we just have to find ways and tools to address that, and it's going to take everybody. It's going to take the public and private sectors. It's going to take the community. There's a waiting list even with the Raleigh Housing Authority, which is not part of the city of Raleigh.
Right.
They receive their money directly from HUD and directly from the state. And the federal government, every time I look, they're cutting back on the funds they're sending to HUD, sent to these housing agencies. So when Raleigh housing agencies, I'm not sure when the last time they've done a new build in Raleigh. I remember the Hope 6 grants when they redid Halifax Court, Washington Terrace,
that was pretty
Chavis.
That was a long time ago.
And that's in the 90s.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So, and they have a waiting list. So we're also trying to work with their waiting lists. They're competing for the same housing as people who don't have Section 8.
Indeed.
We need more landlords that are willing to take Section 8 and keep it up to code.
Indeed, I have folks looking now.
Keep it up to code.
What does success look like, not just for you, but from your time that you put and the self that you give to the city? What does success look like for it to be the end of the day? How would you be satisfied?
Success looks like when I look at the city, when I look at the district, from the day that I started to the day, watch out, to the day I walk away, that I can say more people have been positively impacted. more people have access to jobs or housing, and that, you know, it's a better place. More people are included in the growth and the progress that's occurring in Raleigh. That's what success is. It's not about me, it's about more people being able to be part of whatever dream they have. And government is not a hindrance.
Well, Councilman, I most definitely thank you for taking the time to drive while black with me.
Oh, I drive while black every day.
Every day. This was different, though. This was different. We're changing the narrative. The destination for this one is success.
Exactly.
And not jail.
Right.
Right. So that's different. But I most definitely thank you for driving while black with me. I attend your meetings, you know, whenever I can. I'm not going to be able to make the one this weekend.
Okay.
But your next monthly one, I most definitely be there. And it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Always good working with you.
And we got to get together too. Again, we got to talk about these black businesses.
Most definitely.
And the tools and things that we need there.
Yeah, I've grown to now 3,900 black-owned businesses in 13 counties.
That is great, and that message needs to get out to more people.
It does.
How do you? And I'm gonna go back before I leave. How do you get your information out to those who are not on social media?
Right here.
For those who aren't on social media.
I mean, this is how one-on-one. I wasn't talking about the cameras.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about the one-on-one aspect.
Is how I get,
is what I do. That's what I do. I agree with you 100% in that, and that's more effective.
Right.
Because wealth and everything comes from relationships. And you have to do this one-on-one. So even though I have all social media and everything else, when I go to Edgecombe County, when I go to Nash County, when I go to Vance County, it's all one face, one-on-one.
Right.
I've even hopped out at Walmart and asked black folks, where do you get your hair done at?
Right.
Who do you get your clothes from? Where's the black areas of town? These are the things that I do to get done what I need to get done. So you're exactly correct in that.
All right. Well, let's do it.